operator, we operate walking and cycling tours. We do most of our tours are self-guided, which means that you go yourself with friends or family, and we book the luggage transfer for you to go from hotel to hotel. So you just walk with a very light backpack. We book some very nice accommodation, all en suite. We have few categories, ranging from standard, very nice, 2-3 star hotel. We've also farm stay accommodation that we call country cottages, and then after we have the best of the best, Parador and 4 and 5 star hotels. So we offer all of that, and of course we're also, we support you during your trek 24/7 on the phone, and we offer you a travel pack. So this year has been really, we've been waiting for this year 2021 for a long time. The Holy Year is also called the Agno Jacobeo. It happens when the 25th of July falls on a Sunday. The 25th of July is St. James's Day. So last time it happened was in 2010, so 11 years ago. And during that time, they opened the holy door of the cathedral, and you can be given plenary indulgence. Ruben, I have a question for you. You cannot always get plenary indulgence. Do you know what you have to do to get plenary indulgence?
Oh, I know that's a tricky question, Roland. I think you want to trick me. At the very moment, I should have a look at that information, because I don't want to give any, information that is not accurate at all. So I'm going to leave it to you this time.
Yeah. So the plenary indulgence, for those that don't know, it's basically the fact that if you walk the Camino and you do at least 100 kilometers, you are no more sins in the past, the present, and the future. Okay. So for that, to get the plenary indulgence, you need to attend Mass at the Cathedral of Santiago, say a prayer for the Pope, and go to confession. So that's what you need to do.
Okay, quite interesting.
Can you? Okay, so let's start on the fact as well. Ruben, when is the best time to go on the Camino de Santiago?
Yeah, Roland. So I'd say, that's one of the most questions, I come across more often. I've been in sales for nearly 4 years now, and that's one of the questions that comes up on a daily basis. So obviously, when it comes to answer this question, we have to mention weather-wise. So we highly recommend looking at some time either in April, or in springtime, or autumn or fall time. In terms of the months, that could be in April, May, even early June, or we should we should look at September, October. So as long as you stick to those months, you're gonna be enjoying such a pleasant weather, lovely days, with a good amount of daylight, and the chances of rains are really low, which is also appreciated. And then the temperatures tend to be really mild and smooth, so really pleasant weather conditions to be walking every day. Now, there is now another thing that actually impacts into the timing factor, which is the COVID situation, the COVID-19 travel restrictions that unfortunately, we've been struggling with when it comes to, set up some plans or to firm up any definite dates. So at the very moment, we have been informed, with very positive and reliable news about that, especially for American citizens. So the EU Commission has recently announced officially that Spain is going to be, for instance, reopening to Americans now in July. So that means that the Americans, can start looking at planning this now. For instance, we may have to see some systems put in place. They have to officially implement some standardized protocols. We may talk about COVID-19 passports, some sort of evidence or piece of paper that really proves that that you have got fully vaccinated by the time you are looking to go to Spain. So in summary, Spain is looking or is definitely looking to reopen and to welcome American tourists in Spain. So those are good news, and that's really promising. So I encourage everyone to start thinking seriously about this and start planning now for July or for September, October, if someone believes that July could be a bit early or a bit hasty. So you can maybe look to go there in September, but there is no harm in thinking of July either.
Okay, yeah, no, absolutely, you're right, and I think France in Spain are in test with a special app as well, where you can upload if you had already the vaccine, or if you had also a PCR test, or if you had also COVID before. So it's really everything into one. I suppose if we look at the situation in Europe, not everybody will have the vaccine by July. So I think it's important as well that people, some people will have to have a PCR test, and that's fine. And as long as you have the PCR test, you can enter as if you were vaccinated. It's okay. Um, this next chart show you the volume of the pilgrim basically on the Camino de Santiago. You see that there is a peak really in July and August. It's mainly because I believe the Spanish pilgrim are on the Camino. The date and the time that you suggested, Ruben, April, May, June, and September, October, have much less people. However, the Camino is not crowded, especially this year. The Camino is still a countryside trek. You are in the countryside. There's thousands of kilometers, and there is place for everybody. So, in terms of the accommodation, we have three different standards. Ruben, how do people choose between what we call standard, country cottage, and superior?
Yeah, that's right. So we do basically have three different, let's say, level of accommodation. So we have three different types of accommodation, and we believe that some of those categories are going to be the perfect match, or is going to be really suitable for everyone's needs. So on one side, and which is quite trendy, we have the standard accommodation package. So that stands for up to 3-star hotels. And then they have been selected based on their character and warm hospitality. So you will be staying in the center of town, close to the trail. So the location is always, in this case, a key factor that makes it to be really interesting and highly demanded. Something that we can already guarantee is that all rooms are en suite with bathroom, I mean. And then they are clean, nice accommodation. I say better than decent accommodation. So our team of experts have been in there throughout many years before to hand them to hunting them up based on good quality and service. Obviously, our selection, our range of accommodation is also based on the feedback we usually get from our returning customers. So we value a lot, our customers' inputs, and that's really a great contribution to keep improving our selection of hotels. Then once we have covered the standard accommodation, we have country cottages. So they are also called casas rurales in Spanish. So they are basically beautifully restored country homes and farmhouses, really in the heart of peaceful rural communities. So as you can imagine, the landscapes around, all the surroundings, the setting, is just about to be in the middle of the nature, and you can just relax yourself, whenever you get to there, and you have a full afternoon time ahead of you, so you can chill out yourself and make the most of a spectacular place there. The only thing to mention, Roland, is country cottages might be a bit off trail, but we are taking care of everything. So the head trails are included. So once you get to the town, we'll pick you up from there to take you to the country cottage. It could be only a matter of 10 minutes ride journey, and then we'll drop you off back to the trail on the following day. But country cottages is could be the nicest choice for the ones looking for a peaceful place and to be in the middle of the nature. And thirdly, we have what we call the Superior Collection. It's all about a bit of more luxury. So it combines 4 to 5 star hotels, again country cottages wherever they are available, and then the well-known and famous paradors. So just a special clarification or insight on the parador. Paradors are historic buildings. They used to be maybe castles, monasteries, palaces. Some of them even owned by whoever was the Spanish king, a few centuries ago, and they have been fully restored and reconverted into luxurious accommodation, to host customers there. But the good thing about them is they are still preserving the original shape, the facade, the interiors, everything, so you can feel like literally stepping back in time. So as you can see, Roland, we have different types of accommodation, different levels, so we are totally sure that some of these hotel options have to be the perfect match for whatever the customers are expecting to stay in at.
Yeah, okay, that's perfect. Thank you very much. Absolutely, there is a few types of accommodation that you can choose along the way. Also, if you are walking independently and you have your backpack on your back and you go from village to village, there is also albergue, so they are sort of youth hostel with bunk bed, and you cannot book them. They are on first come first serve, but it is the heart of the community. There is like a few hundred beds every night where you can just go there, show your Pilgrim Passport, and just signed up. Um, just before we start, by the way, to pack, I just would like to cover the Pilgrim Passport and the certificate. That's a very peculiar thing about the Camino. Every trail in the world seems to kind of imitate that, but it's very unique to the Camino. The Pilgrim in the old days started from their own doorstep, in whatever country, France, Italy, UK, Ireland, Germany, Poland, etc., etc. Start from their own parish, and they have a letter from their priest saying, that you're going, to Santiago de Compostela in pilgrimage. Some of them would have gone as well to Rome, but in particular Santiago, because Rome was kind of a little bit dangerous at the time. So they had their letter from their local priest. That's today the Pilgrim Passport, basically, if you understand. So what the difference is that you get a stamp everywhere you stop now. You need to have at least covered the last 100 kilometers of any of the route coming to Santiago. And when you cover those 100-kilometer walking or 200 kilometers cycling, you get a certificate written in Latin with your name written on it. Okay, so you carry that Pilgrim Passport and you bring it to the office in Santiago, and you get a sort of certificate that you've traveled. Okay, so that's how it is done. In terms of what to pack, if you travel with us, for example, you can travel very light because we carry your bag. So what you have with you during the day, during your 20 kilometers, that's generally the average as you walk 20 kilometers for the day. It's starting at 9, finishing at 4 p.m., for example. You had a break of 1 hour for lunch. You had a few break during the day. It's easy enough, and you can travel light. So you have a little rain jacket, you have a little sandwich, and so on. If you So basically, if you're traveling and you go on albergue and you have to carry everything yourself, well, then you have to think about the sleeping bag. You have to think about maybe about a few change of clothes, which you may have to wash, etc. Okay, so there is a list as well of what to pack on CaminoWays.com that you can have a look at it later. So Ruben and I have compiled a list of routes that you may be interested in on the Camino de Santiago. Literally, there is maybe 16, 17, 18 routes on the Camino de Santiago. Some are marked, some are not very well marked. The most popular and the most marked ways are in front of you here. The most popular is this big green line there, the Camino Frances. It starts from France and finishes in Santiago. And then the Portuguese coastal way is the purple line there. The line does not exactly hug the coast, but this gives you roughly an idea of where is the Portuguese way. The Portuguese way is the second most popular, especially the section that starts in Porto into Spain. It's really nice along the coast. I think it's one of Ruben's favorites, so we're going to talk about it after. There is also the English way starting from the north, and also the northern way starting in San Sebastian, Santander, Bilbao, all this area. It's absolutely wonderful. So I wanted first of all to feature the Camino Frances. The Camino Frances is the most popular. If you heard about the Camino de Santiago, you must have heard about the Camino Frances, even if you don't know the name. The movie The Way of Martin Sheen and his son Esteves was featuring the Camino Frances, and most of the book and movies were around the Camino Frances. This is really the place where you meet pilgrims. It's really social. There's cafes and restaurants along the route. You walk comfortably, on average 20 kilometers per day. About 400-meter ascent and descent per day. It's like, a little walk in a walk on hiking trail without going to the summit of mountain or down. It's easy enough if you're in good physical condition. It's cultural, it's fun. That particular section that is in front of my screen is the last 100 kilometers. It takes 1 week and you can get your certificate. It's easy to do, and if you never done any walking tours, sort of walking trips, self-guided or guided or whatever, this is probably your best introduction to the Camino. It's fun, it's safe, and there's a lot of greenness everywhere. The food is amazing. I really like this one. I've done it a few times. I really like this one. Continuing on some of the other highlights, Ruben wanted to talk about the Coastal Camino. So here I put 2 boxes around few routes. Ruben, what is your favorite Camino? Which one do you want to talk about?
Yeah, sure, Roland. So, as you were explaining there, well, there are many routes there actually. And when it comes to picking out kind of your favorite one is such a hard job. But in my opinion, I think the Camino Coastal Portuguese, or the Portuguese Coastal Way, is one of the nicest ones you can ever undertake. So just to give you some more details on that one, the Camino Portuguese Coastal from Bayona, which is a starting point if you want to walk at least the last 100 kilometers into Santiago, is just the last stretch of this route that originally starts off in Porto, or even you can even start further away in Lisbon, but that would take 1 month. Anyway, if we want to stick with the 1 week trip package, then this could be a nice option. So Bayona, which is a starting point, it's an elegant seaside town in the heart of the Rías Baixas region of Galicia in Spain. And then, for instance, the full route is full of really nice attractions and landmarks. It's full of nice architecture, history, food. Just to mention a rapid example, in Bayona there is the Montreal Castle there, and it's highly recommended going there for a stroll along the seafront, and even if you go for a swim in the ocean before starting your journey. So in my opinion, it's one of the richest routes, because it combines a few days walking by the sea, and literally the first walking day you can just take your shoes off and feel the waves from the ocean crashing into your feet, which is a nice sensation there to feel. And then after 3 days mostly walking and enjoying the ocean views, then it turns more into more countryside, rural areas like sections once you reach mainly Pontevedra, and you get closer to Santiago de Compostela. For instance, you have fishing villages, you have towns with character and charm, and then even you have some medieval towns such as Pontevedra, which is all town itself. So it's a route full of highlights. If you are a nature lover, you would never get bored about your spectacular surroundings and settings all around the place. So to me, it's a more than 5-star route. And I highly recommend for anyone who is looking to have a bit of coastal route, and then maybe forest or countryside areas later on.
Excellent. Yeah, that's good. That's the one I really like. I done it with my family cycling a few years ago. We just did 100 kilometers, really, with the kids, just on the morning, walking on the morning. Cycling on the morning, and going at the beach on the afternoon, or big garden in a country cottage. Absolutely superb. I really like that one as well. Another one I wanted to talk to you about, I've done it a few years ago also in a bike. It's the Camino Finister Coastal. So the first 2 days are inland. They are in a quite remote part of Galicia countryside. It's nice and sleepy villages and stuff. And then you arrive on the coast and you see the lighthouse on the top of the cliff of Finister. That's the one that I also very much like. And it's a special one because it's the only one that goes away from Santiago de Compostela. And if you've done the Camino already, or if you want to continue your route, you can continue to the seaside and to the cliff of Finisterre. It's a pre-Christian pilgrimage from the pagan time, so there is quite a bit to learn from that one. One also that you may be interested. We had a lot of questions with Ruben about this one. Is one that we just launched about last year. And unfortunately the COVID hit, and we didn't have time to really properly boost it. It's called the Camino Spiritual, so you can translate it as well, the spiritual Camino. But really it's a beautiful variation of the Portuguese coastal way along the coast. And the bonus, Ruben,
Mm-hmm.
do you know what it is, the bonus in the Camino Spiritual?
I suppose you're talking about the boat trip day, right?
Yes, yes, we do.
There you go.
So yes, effectively, there's one day where you don't walk. So there's a 20 kilometers day where you actually take the a sort of little cruise along the Riache Bassas, and you have only 5 kilometers walk that day. So it's pretty cool. It's a good day where you relax and you can have just enjoy the beautiful Alvarinho wine. You may have heard about it, and just look at the seaside and rest your legs. So that's a good one as well. So I would recommend that. You could do also that in a week. Get your certificate. Um, Ruben, you wanted also to finish by the Via Francigena. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, sure. So the Via Francina Trail is another route that goes across Italy, coming from the north, finishing up in Rome. To me, one of the most highlighted sections there is the one covering the Tuscany region. Everyone knows and has heard about Tuscany, how lovely, how gorgeous that section is in Italy. So it's not only about walking from one place to the next one, but also enjoy all the vineyards on both sides of the trail, even each specific town and little hamlet and village has its own story, and its own beauty, let's say. So that goes from the town of Lucca to Siena, the Tuscany region. And as I was telling there, is one of the most popular and spectacular stretches of the Via Francigena. So yeah, you will walk basically in the heart of Tuscany, across beautiful rolling hills and woodlands, stopping by gorgeous villages along the way, where you can well enjoy a deserved rest, for instance. And then, just to point out some of the highlights, there are many actually wonderful sites on the section. For instance, the tiny walled hilltop town of Monteriggioni. Then we also have two impressive UNESCO World Heritage Sites, which is the breathtaking town of San Gimignano, with its medieval towers, and magnificent Siena, which is a historical, artistic, cultural, and also a gastronomic, town. Just special mention on the local and on the Italian local cuisine. I mean, I suppose everyone loves to taste a bit of the local gastronomy. So for the Italian food lovers, that's a must visit route that you will get to enjoy very much. I have to say.
Okay, yeah.